Okay, folks, just a little under a minute to go. Stand by for the latest live stream in just about 30 seconds. Hello there, everybody. This is the first one of these live streams that I have done with a countdown. So, hope you all enjoyed the little countdown music if you heard it. I don't know if you did or not. Let me get rid of this one banner. Say hello to you, everybody, and welcome to the GSW match of the week, or this week it's going to be the matches of the week. We're going to do 3 matches because yesterday I purchased the latest version of Wrestling's Finest, version 3. So, in honor of that, we're going to do 3 matches. These matches took place in the Southern Circuit in Tupelo, Mississippi, virtually. And hello to you too there, Kayfabe's Total NWA. We wish you well, and we will get to the business at hand here. Let me share with you my screen, and I will share with you the results of the first 6 matches. And we will talk about those preliminary matches. Hulk Hogan over Sputnik Monroe, 4 minutes with the body slam and leg drop. Best match, and another new thing about WF3 is that they have star ratings for the match from 0.5 to 5. Haven't had a 5-point match yet, a 5-star yet, 0.5-star match yet, because I've only done a handful of matches. Lou Thesz beat Harley Race, and Thesz won by a pin on a Thesz press at 17:53. The Scots, the Flying Scots, who have won many championships in GSW, including one run as the World Tag Team Champions, they lost by countout to the Heavenly Bodies. El Santo beat Edge by DQ when Harley Race interfered in that bout. Guess he was mad at somebody after losing to Thesz, and that took 5 minutes and 6 seconds. Danny Hodge and Kevin Sullivan went to a double disqualification at 14:03. Sullivan, we hear, is in line for our next match of the week next week. He's going to face Farmer Burns before Burns goes to the Okerlund Cup and faces John Pesek, who, by the way, won the Northern title this week over Andre the Giant. So Andre no longer a champion of 2 circuits. Now he's just a champion of the East. And in our last match, before the 3 matches that I'm going to show you, we had a double DQ between the Headhunters, who are now managed by Rock Hunter, and Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. So, with that, on to our first of the 3 matches. As I say hello to everybody. Countdown was great, says... I hope I don't get busted for it on a music pinch, because that's happened before in the past. Oh, there I am. There I am. Last time I did a live stream, we had the record viewership when I did my last little chat, and that had 26 views. So I'm kind of hoping for something resembling that with this stream. But let's get to our first of the 3 matches I have for you in this stream. And there you see the brand new screen for Wrestling's Finest. And I'm going to get out of this and set it up for you. There you go. Now, this particular version of Wrestling's Finest, this new version 3, comes with many backgrounds you could use. And these, you can't really see it all that well with the game interface, but this, let me just lose the banner, because you know the matches I'm going to show you by now, and we will put that up between matches. You get, in this particular setting, you get all of the arenas, the old arenas across the country back in the territory days. So that's kind of nice. And you could, I don't want to show any other images because, some of them have WWF logos and likenesses on it. And since they're the only game in town pretty much, except AEW. I don't want to get in trouble with them. So we'll just show you the grand arenas of the country as a backdrop here and get you ready for our first match, which is going to be a match for the Southern Tag titles. Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt. Of course, Bobby Shane, in his career in real life, was tragically cut short by the plane crash he and Buddy were in 1975 in Tampa, Florida. They are going to be the champions. It's a regional title match, so it's not a world title match. The interface has totally changed. Well, not totally, but it's a lot more information here. They are rated 152 in the game. The best tag teams now are up around 230, and in the singles, the best heavyweights are about 270. Rating of 270 all told. Tommy Vogel redid the rating system, and I think it's much nicer and much more equitable. Their opposition had been languishing in last place up until a couple of weeks ago. They won a 8 tag team battle royal where they faced off against 7 heels and they beat them all. They are the Time Splitters out of Alex Shelley and Kushida. They're basically known for their exploits in Japan, although they did have a match or two in the WWE last year. And this is going to be a one-fall 60-minute time limit, just like the world title matches. You go 60, and Shelley and Kushida will have to get a pinfall or a submission to win the championships. Very unlikely challengers, considering the Scots are in this division, and so are Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. But if Shane and Colt retain tonight, next week, Steamboat and Youngblood, based on their better performance in the prelims, will get the next title shot. That is also provided that the Time Splitters do not win the match and not the championship. They would get an automatic rematch in that case. So it's one fall, 60-minute time limit, and just a one-fall match, as I'm saying. The Shane and Colt are the heel team, and the Time Splitters are the baby faces. And you see them there. And trade hold recommendations. Now, back in version 2, you had to go in and do all of this by hand, but in version 3, it's already done for you. So there. And the Time Splitters don't have any holds they have to trade off. So we'll ring the bell, and we will get this match started. And now this I didn't show you when I was using version 2, but this is kind of like a prediction. And the computer predicts Shane and Colt will win easy, but you never know. You never know in this game. And here is the match information screen. Could have used defend the title for this match for Shane and Colt, but I didn't think of it, so we're just going to play it as it lays. Shane and Colt against the Time Splitters for the Southern Tag Team Championship. Each team will use 5 their strategy cards, and the computer will control all moves, and I'll just commentate on the match. Arm holds by the Splitters reduces Shane and Colt's stamina by 4. Tag out occurred, double team attempt, and a reduction of stamina by 15 to Shane and Colt. So far, so good for the Time Splitters. We'll get into other changes with version 3 as we get to them. A few things have changed, but from what I have seen with the preliminary matches and running those, it's a very one of the best games that covers wrestling has gotten much better. Shane and Colt, disqualified check, possible DQ is stopped. We have our first pin attempt as Shane and Colt deliver a stomp, and that could be a possible pin. No, sir. We play on. Legal whip to the ropes, drop kick by Shane and Colt. Nothing. Okay, 2:21 into the 60-minute bout. Body slam and a face break that's illegal, but what are you going to do? You don't want to have a disqualification right off the bat and have the fans go home disqualified here in Tupelo. Choking. Shane and Colt going to their bag of dirty tricks. And a pinhold countered by Shane and Colt. So Shane and Colt doing well early. And another pin attempt on the time splitters. Leg drop across their back. One. No, nothing there. The pin mechanism is the same. The numbers are 1 to 40 in the pin rating, and each number has to be less than the target number. Like in this case for the time splitters, it's 28. It has to be less than 28 to go to the 2 count, and then it has to be less than 5 for the pin to be scored. So I just thought I'd mention that for anybody who hasn't seen any of my videos yet. And here's another pin try. Nope. And Shane and Colt now with 3 pin attempts. You can see the stats of the match on the screen here. And that's something new to WF3. No pin, legal knee, legal punches, pile driver. That's not good, and that's no pin. A stumble into the ropes. Seeing my microphone is on. Okay, and I'm still on. No action. Action happening outside of the ring. A suplex by either Shane or Colt. And a reduction of stamina by 20. And after the slow start, Shane and Colt have delivered every move of the match up to this point. Another suplex by Shane and Colt. No action, no action, no action. Boston Crab, submission try, and that's not going to get it done. The submission rating on the 3rd count of the submission is 0, so you're not going to get a submission this early in the bout. Specialty move, flying knee drop by Colt, foot on the ropes, but the pinfall is scored. And there you go, folks. Our first bout is over. Shane and Colt retain the championship. A pinfall. Looked like about 8 minutes and 3 seconds into the match. Love them or hate them, Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt are still the champions, and this was an impressive performance. So the time of the fall was 8:03, and 2 stars was the rating that the match got. I'm going to briefly update this into my notepad, as I am apt to do. Shane and Colt. Now see, you wouldn't be hearing this or seeing this in an ordinary sequence of matches because I only do one match. Team by pin at 8:03. Colt pin Kushida with a flying knee drop. And I will note that the stamina was 19 off for Shane and Colt, 107 for the time splitters, which I accidentally have down as 197. And the bout got 2 stars. So not a great bout, but it was clear from the beginning who the better team was, and that was Shane and Buddy Colt. So let me come back and talk to you a little bit. 1 match down, 2 to go. I will put on the banner the next live stream we're going to be doing, and that's going to be Thursday night at the same time, 7 o'clock. We'll be doing the last HTFL game of week number 6, which is going to be Philadelphia traveling to, no, it's New York traveling to Philadelphia on Monday Night Football, which we're going to do on a Thursday because, you know, can't do all the games at once like the NFL can. And we have some spectators joining us. We have Dave Gardner. Let me just say hello to you, Dave. Thank you for joining us today. And Sports Time Machine, let me Shane and Colt, who are they? Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt were a team in Florida in the, I'd say, early mid-70s. I don't think they were a major championship team anywhere. Of course, Bobby Shane was a good guy turned bad guy in the 70s, and he had a female, I can't think of her name, but she kind of had a valet, and the valet really, I don't know if the valet got involved in the bouts or what, but yeah, Bobby Shane and Buddy Colton, they were both in the plane crash in Tampa in 1975. In fact, I'm going to look that up for you right now. And it claimed the life of Bobby Shane and Austin Idol, who was then Mike McCord, and Gary Hart, the manager, were all in that plane crash. And they were trying to get back to town from Miami. And they encountered foggy conditions. I think this was February of 75, February 20th, 1975, I'm seeing. And they were trying to get back into Vandenberg Air Force Base. Vandenberg Air Force Base is in California, one of the other airports in Tampa that handled the smaller aircraft. And they hit foggy conditions. And everybody got out of the plane except Bobby Shane, who tragically lost his life in that crash. Fly, Eagles, fly. You must be seeing the promo that I'm running here, kayfabe. Arnold Hunter, thank you for checking in, sir. I'm glad we're having so many people tune in. And like I said, the next thing we're going to be doing is HTFL. And with StreamYard, you can only do 20 hours if you're a free user. I'm a free user right now. Maybe, if things could get better for me economically, I could do a lot more streaming, because trust me, I would love to do more. But we can only do a couple of projects a week. I don't know what this Wii business I always get myself involved in. But yeah, Shane and Colt won the opening bout, and we're going to do bout number 2 right now, which is going to be Barry Windham, who really hasn't. This is kind of an all-star league. So Barry was one of those guys who had a lot of talent when he wrestled. Of course, he was involved in one of the great heel turns of all time in 1988 against Lex Luger. They were the NWA. I think they were still was it still NWA back then? I think it was. In fact, let me show you the screen here as I'm setting up the next match. Forgive me, folks. Yes, there we go. And we have Lawler against Barry Windham. And Windham turned heel when he had been a babyface all of his career up until that point, and joined the Four Horsemen. And it was quite a shock, but I kind of sensed it was coming. I was 16 years old in 1988. And Barry Windham does not have a manager. Lawler is the champion, the Southern champion going into this. And this will be another one fall 60-minute time limit match. I don't think Lawler and Windham have met all that much. You can see here, I could have made it defend the first match, defend the title, but I forgot all about it when the time came. So Lawler and Windham, because Windham was kind of in the Dusty Rhodes crowd, although there were exceptions in his career where he wasn't. And Lawler kind of had his own crew. So I don't think in real life they met that frequently. So this will be an interesting bout. Lawler is the babyface Southern champion. His rating is 172. Barry Windham's at 137. He was a much stronger babyface than he was a heel in his career. So we will set it up. Here's the trade hold recommendations. Now, in my old system, I would not be making these changes because they each have the same change, ropes to arm hold, and they would cancel each other out. But in version 3, the game automatically makes this for you. So again, this is one fall, 60-minute time limit, just like our first match and just like our next match will be for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship between Red Bastien and Rowdy Piper. Now let me just double check here. Take that stream off. I know some of you like the stream, but I don't want to have you distracted during the bout. Okay, here we go. Our second bout between Lawler and Windham for Lawler's Southern Heavyweight Championship. Windham is not managed by anybody in terms of the GSW right now. So maybe somebody will take a look at him if he does well. Windham has not won a GSW championship. Lawler has won a few. And we're underway. Vog saying Windham can win this match. I'll be surprised, but only slightly. Lawler should retain the title in this championship match. And again, one fall, 60-minute time limit. Should be a good match. Like I said, these two guys didn't really face each other a heck of a lot in real life. And there's the bell, and we're underway. Windham prepared for his opponent's move and makes a dandy counter. Disqualified check. Windham is okay. Kick by Lawler, a reduction of stamina by 5 points. You start at 0 and you work your way down negative territory. Now, in Wrestling's Finest, there was a rule that when cuts were opened up, minus 90 meant the match was stopped. Here, the cuts are totally random. They're not in 5-point increments, and you don't know when the match will be stopped on a cut. It could be at minus 77 or 120 or 85 or any number in between. You don't know when the match will be stopped on a cut, which kind of simulates back in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s, a wrestler could lose on a cut, which you don't see too much nowadays. Action happening outside the ring, and Windham has a laceration on the left side of his nose, and that cut is 19 points, and it also reduces stamina by 15. So Barry Windham has just been busted open, or as Gordon Solie used to say, he's been heavily lacerated. Illegal punch is by Lawler, and that's a stamina reduction of 6. Action happening outside the ring. Lawler has retained his championship. We know that much. It's a... See, I'm going to move the banner here. Double count out, and that only took 2 minutes and change, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So this was quickly a brawl that went out of control. Barry Windham may have come close to winning the title, but close ain't going to get it done. Jerry Lawler lives to fight another day as the champion. So there you go, a double count out, which means Windham will have to go back to the drawing board. He cannot get a rematch. He has to win technically to get a automatic rematch in GSW. But this one goes to a double count out and went 2.5 stars, despite the match only going a little over a couple of minutes. So must have been a good matchup for it to get that high a rating. That it did. So double count out, Lawler retains, match time 2 minutes, 17 seconds. And Windham had a bad cut, and maybe he just wanted to get out of there. So that's your match. In my rating system, Barry Windham would pick up about 4 rankings points. He'd go from about 31 to 27. Lawler would not lose any, but Windham would gain a few because he's the underdog. In the first match, Shane and Colt were rated number 3, Bobby Shane, Buddy Colt. Time splitters were 21st, so Shane and Colt would force the time splitters to lose 2 points and go down to 23. And every week I rank the champions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shane and Colt would technically go to 1, but only the world champion can be number 1, and their other 4 champions would be 2, 3, 4, 5, just in the matter of the order that their matches put them in. So we have 2 matches down and 1 to go. That took not a lot of time. And we have some comments coming in. 2.5 stars. 2.5 stars. That's right. It was 2.5 stars. You're right, Kayfabe. My apologies. And I need to take a note of that in my match report that I put up on Delphi. By the way, if you want more information on this game, a great place to go would be the Delphi board. Um, just try a search on Google for Delphi board Wrestling's Finest or Wrestling's Finest game Delphi, and I'm pretty sure you'll find it. And on most of the weekend days, I'm usually posting at least once. And we have some very fine co-authors along with myself. One of the people I know very well is Don Gantz, who is part. He does a Rock America tournament, which is like a kind of like March Madness, the basketball tournament for Wrestling's Finest, and I think he has the new game already. He also does a promotion called SCAR, SKAR. I'm looking at it right now, and let me just go back to the two shot. There I am. How are you, everybody? 2 matches down, 1 match to go. Big Paulie, what's up? Oh, little old school wrestling. Bleacher Bums, how are you, bud? Good to see you here. Yeah, just debuting Wrestling's Finest version 3 and just showing everybody the game and showing all the new nuances of the game. And right now we have done 2 matches and we are now down to 1. And I should probably explain the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, back in the old days of wrestling, that was one of the more prestigious championships outside of the NWA World Heavyweight title. Up until, about the time of Vince McMahon taking Hulk Hogan to the WWF in '84, it was a very prestigious title. Danny Hodge, of course, held it 7 times. And in the territories, that was a good belt to have. And for my purposes, what I do is I take anybody who has a billing weight. If I go on Wikipedia and find such and such a wrestler weighed less than 225 pounds, 225 or less, or they were a junior heavyweight champion. For instance, Jerry Lawler early in his career was a junior heavyweight champion. I make them junior heavyweight eligible. Right now, Red Bastien holds the championship, and we will put him in the game against Roddy Piper, who early in his career was a world junior, not a world junior heavyweight champion, but at least a regional champ out in California, and that counts. So Bastien was always a babyface in his career for the most part, and we're going to put Piper in as the heel. His best rating in the game, and there are some wrestlers have multiple cards. Like, for instance, you have Roddy Piper, the babyface, which I just clicked on now. He's 140 as a babyface. Then early career Roddy Piper, back when he was in Portland and out west, he's 107. But 1980, when he became the U.S. champion in Mid-Atlantic, he's 153. So this is for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. It is 60 minutes, 1 fall. I always like the 1 fall bouts as opposed to 2 out of 3. Get some finality with 1 fall matches that you don't get in the 2 out of 3, even though it's a great promotional tool because, like, for instance, say, you got the NWA champion coming to Florida and it's Harley Race and he's facing somebody you barely have heard of, like a Manny Fernandez, and Fernandez takes a fall off of him. Well, it just proves that Fernandez deserved to be there to begin with. So, the 2 out of 3 fall match has its purposes, but for mine, I kind of like the finality of a 1 fall match. So this is 2 out of 3, not 2 out of 3, 1 fall, 60-minute time limit. I go talking about 2 out of 3 falls, and I think that's what this match is going to be. Bastien is the champion, so Piper's got to take it off of him. Oh, made an error here, folks. Let me just do this again. And sometimes I do this, but I don't usually have an audience when I make these mistakes. Let's put Bastien back in. He is the world champion. Piper is not. For some reason, it made Piper a world champion. I might have hit the wrong button, and that would not be impossible, considering this is brand new. I'm brand new to the game. I bought version 3 yesterday. So let's see. Did I make an error this time? I did not. So here we go. It's going to be not one fall, 16-minute time up. But stop saying it's 2 out of 3 because it's not going to be 2 out of 3. Both guys have ropes arm hold as their trade-offs. So in version 2, I would have just not done the trade-offs because they cancel each other out. And off we go. Bastien defeated Dr. Wagner Jr. for the junior heavyweight title. And Dr. Wagner beat Jay Youngblood. Jay Youngblood beat El Santo, and El Santo might get back into the mix before too long. He's been moving up the charts in the Southern Circuit. And let's get this started. The match preview says this bout will be too close to call, and I would agree with that. And there is your tail of the tape, so to speak. And here we go. Specially moved by Piper. Neck breaker. He goes for the neck breaker right away. Ouch. And Bastien countered it and smartly outmaneuvered it. Legal throw by Bastien. Piper has never won a GSW championship. He's looking for his first here. And with so many shooters winning the world heavyweight title over the years, that's understandable. Here's a pin attempt on Piper. No, sir. Kick by Piper. Kick by Piper again. And Bastien is now trailing in the damage count, -12 to -8. Closer to 0 you are, the better. And the match goes to the outside. Piper slams Bastien into a ringside table. Reduction of stamina by 15. Of course, Piper made it big in the WWF around 1984-85, battled Hulk Hogan, and never got pinned by Hogan in that stretch. Auto control loss by Piper. Piper miscalculates his move. No action. Legal forearm by Bastien. No action. Illegal punches by Piper, of course. Submission move. And you're not going to get Bastien on that. We'll just run it anyway. Legal forearm outside the ring action, and Piper's just punching away at Bastien. Now we have Piper scheduled for a Southern title match against Jerry Lawler at the Okerlund Cup in a couple of weeks, but that plan might change, and it might be Kevin Sullivan, provided Kevin Sullivan does not win the world title next week in our next match of the week. Illegal punches by Piper. Bastien, ready for his opponent's move. Legal whip into the ropes by Bastien. Bastien has control. Oh, and there's a cut. And a massive cut on the right ear of Piper, which, if you know his career, he had a dog collar match at the first Starrcade with Greg Valentine. That's not too far off the truth. And he is badly cut, -37 and a reduction of stamina by 15. And once these guys get cut, they usually lose their offensive effectiveness. And, another cut. Deep gash on the point of his chin. And that produces some serious blood flow. So he is now -61 on cuts. Now, like I was saying in the other match, the second match between Lawler and Windham, we don't know when the referee stops it on a cut, but this game kind of emulates 80s wrestling, so it could happen. In version 2, it was always -90, but in version 3, you don't know when it's going to occur, which kind of adds a nice little randomness to it. Bastien has control, countered by Piper. Pin hold, countered by Piper. A high knee to the face by Piper. Bastien will be feeling that tomorrow. He loses 6 on stamina, but Piper way behind, especially cut open the way he is. Legal forearm by Piper. Suplex attempt by Piper, and he gets it. The suplex works out well. Pinhold by Bastien, no. Legal neck hold by Bastien. Reduces Roddy's stamina by 5. Collar and elbow hookup. Neither man getting the advantage. Red Bastien won control. Flying head scissors by Bastien. Piper countered it. Piper with control. And now Bastien with a slight bit of a cut. Cut right on the point of his chin, and that's showing signs of blood. He loses 9. So both men busted open now. Legal throat chop by Piper. No action, no action. Legal choking by Bastien. Maybe that blood loss is getting to his head a little bit. -5 on Piper. Illegal punches by Bastien. So he's getting ready to throw the rule book out the window if he could find one here in Tupelo, Mississippi. Bastien with quick hitting forearms on Piper. Illegal eye gouge by Bastien. So he's had enough of Piper's chicanery. Action outside the ring. Bastien jumps from the ring apron and nailed Roddy Piper, who was on the arena floor. Woo! Loss of 10. I remember Bastien calling a match when Jimmy Superfly Snuka in 1984 did that to Roddy Piper. He was doing the commentary on the match of the Meadowlands with Gorilla Monsoon that night, and I think that's on YouTube somewhere. Legal punches by Bastien. Legal arm hold by Bastien. Specialty move, figure 4. Nope, not that time. We're 15 minutes into the 60-minute time limit match. Bastien goes for the headlock wristlock combination, and Piper is ready to and blocks the attempt in the process. Suplex attempt, and he gets Bastien over. No pin there. Legal leg hold by Piper. Action happening outside the ring. Piper slams Bastien to the mat. 19 points loss of stamina. Specialty move, neck breaker, and this could be it. We have a new junior heavyweight champion of the world, and his name is Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper. He has won the junior heavyweight championship. It is his first GSW championship of any kind, regionally or any world title. So there you go, folks. Yet again, I have brought you a junior heavyweight title change. Piper is the man, the winner and new world champion, world junior heavyweight champion. The match went at 4.5 stars, which is the highest I have had so far. And there you go. Piper is the man. And he never won the world title in real life, not the big world heavyweight title, but he wins the junior heavyweight title here. And I'm sure he will be celebrating in the birthplace of Elvis Presley tonight. He wins by pin. Time of the match, 17:28. And Red Bastien is going to lose. He was number 2 coming in, so he will lose 8 spots and be number 10, which is still a very high rating, and he will be picked by promoters to go somewhere. Bastien, I should point out, is going to get a rematch at Piper on an East Circuit card next week. We will not have that for you. You'll have to check the Delphi board for that. And a very bloody Roddy Piper is your brand new junior heavyweight champion of the world. Neckbreaker. I'm typing this in for the Delphi post, if you are wondering. And as I said, this is the highest match rating I have had yet. 4.5 stars. And this match did have some drama in it. Piper did well. And now he is the junior heavyweight champion of the world. And that will get him out of his match with Jerry Lawler, unless Bastien beats Piper again next week. Then that match would be back on. So there you go, folks. 3 matches up, 3 matches down. And that was 4.5 stars. Let me just note the fact that it was a 4.5 star match. And that's it. Oh, I forgot to do something there. I forgot to take myself out and show you the whole match. And the Hot Rod has done it. He is the new GSW Junior Heavyweight Champion of the world. There's Dave Gardner. And here's Bleacher Blum's Bleacher Blum. Blum is my last name. How can I get this wrong? Bleacher Bums Gaming. See, I do go a little too fast from time to time. Red's going to pay the piper tonight. Well, he most certainly did. And there you go. And that has been our live stream for tonight. I did OOTP earlier. I did a few more transactions with the Universal Pioneers I've been working on. Well, they haven't been doing too well as of late. They were like they've lost about 80 games with about 20 to play, so they're not going to make the playoffs or anything like that. And tomorrow I'm going to do a video with the franchise hockey manager, Hartford Whalers, now in the playoffs, and they have a series with the Los Angeles Kings of 1979 and 1980. So that ought to be fun. And we'll do all the elimination games. I'm not going to tell you what's been happening with the series yet, but there may be one elimination game and there may be three, maybe two. So that's how that wound up. So I hope you enjoyed today's live stream, everybody, or tonight, considering here on the West Coast, here on the East Coast, it is now nearly 8 o'clock. So I hope you enjoyed the 3 matches. I enjoyed doing it. I have a lot of fun doing these live streams, and I don't know why it is that I hesitated for so long, but we're going to do a couple of them a week, and the rest we come with you on video. Of course, we have the HDFL. Let me put up the banner for that. That'll be our next live stream, the quote-unquote Monday night game between New York and Philly. Philly wins that, and it's a dead even race in the Upper East Division, the division between Philly, New England, New York, and who else is in that division? Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't been doing too well despite having O.J. Simpson in the backfield. So there you see the information on that next live stream. That'll be Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Thank you to all who have dropped by. Really enjoyed having you here watching the matches. And our next GSW match will be Farmer Burns against Kevin Sullivan for Burns' world heavyweight title. He has now been world champion 63 weeks, longest reign in GSW history. And the demonic Kevin Sullivan, you never know what he's up to. He's managed by Rock Hunter. So that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. As I always say, I wish you well, no matter where you are, wherever you're seeing this, whenever you're seeing this, whether it be tonight or in the year 2525. And we'll do it all again real soon. We'll have videos coming out tomorrow. And our next live stream, as I said, will be Thursday night. So long, everybody, and we'll do it next time. Bye-bye.